Hey.
I think it's still good. I tried this Orbis VR or whatever it's called. I think it's like the biggest VR MMO at this point at least. And it's it's fun. I played for a couple hours. I don't know.
Kenan, do you have any light that you can, like, I see basically darkness.
Forgot my light.
Is this a little bit better?
Yes, thank you.
Or maybe the camera isn't like picking up. Maybe doing
No,
like
that's
this.
fine. It's fine.
Hey guys.
Hey James.
Hey.
What's up? So while Morten is gulping his pizza and drinking Coke, making me very envy. Like, pizza is my kryptonite. I can eat and eat and eat, and it doesn't stop. Like, yeah.
What makes us
just give us your address and we'll order like 10 pizzas for you.
So actually, in my it's quite funny. We have this network of pizzerias in Israel. It's called Domino's. Maybe it's a global thing. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So when the guys come to my place to play D&D and we order, I always get like crappy pizzas. But when we go to another city where most of the group is living, one of the guys can order pizzas in all kinds of strange combinations, and it's like a delicacy. It's amazing. It's so good. And it's the same network and the same combinations. When it gets to my house, it's crappy. It's like unbelievable. Yes, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I really like pizza. So I have to be like, I'm dead tired. So, and it's practically 10 p.m. for us now, like physically, even if not logically. So excuse me if I kind of doze off. Do you, like, any of you, when you were kids, played D&D for 16 hours and had the DM fall asleep in the middle of the game? It was like, no, you didn't have those.
The DM never fell asleep.
I did.
Chance to play so long.
Really? Oh man, that was the best. We would start Friday night and finish Sunday night.
Yes, yes.
No, the longest I think I had was like 12 or 13 hours. 16 hours sounds like whoa.
Mm.
Actually, I remember those times when I said, yeah, you killed the dragon, just let me sleep. He's dead, it's dead. But we haven't started the combat. No, he's dead, he's gone,
You can take him.
Yeah.
He died of old age.
He died of sleep deprivation. Okay, so let's like dive straight into it. I think last meeting was quite interesting. You guys basically released Magera, the Dawn Titan, inside Iron Slag. This is the castle that belongs to Duke Zalto, the fire giant, and his wife Brimskarda. There was an heroic attempt to save all the dwarves trapped there, but nope. They were vaporized when you released the Dawn Titan. The one who managed to release him basically was allowed to kind of ask a favor of it. I think it was Enderest, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing basically nuked the castle and destroyed the Vonidod. The Vonidod is this enormous construct Duke Zalto was trying to assemble in order to basically subdue all the dragons. It's a construct designed to fight dragons, and you have destroyed this construct, fled the castle on board the Star Chaser, which is a flying ship captained by a half-elven woman named Zandala, and she has those, like, her crew are people wearing colored masks of dragon, and you kind of ascertain that these are dragon cultists. And during your voyage with her, I think it was Quarian who searched her private chamber.
Yeah.
And you basically realized that her ship is from the future. So she had this enormous map depicting this draconic nation spread on half of Faerun. I'm not sure if I gave you the name of that nation. I think I didn't. Because I
think you
forgot
said
the name.
Forgorlandia.
Yeah, something like, yeah. So it's Arcosia. I'll spell it for you guys. Arcosia, yeah. So that's the name of this draconic nation, and you found the device that probably allows the ship to travel through time, and you found a ring with the symbol of this spider or squid that you have seen before. And you have basically learned that Zandala's job is to make sure that you succeed in your mission in averting whatever it is that the giants are up to, paving the way to this draconic nation. So you have learned on that, all that, and dimension door outside her cabin, and then you came face to face with her. At that very moment, one of her crew notified you all that you have reached Helmhold. This is a fortified city in which Artus Cimber's son is supposedly being held and interrogated. The frost giants are trying to get the secrets, or at least the whereabouts of the Ring of Winter from him. And I think this is where we stopped last time. So if any one of you wants to add something, maybe I forgot something.
Well, just one thing. When I dimension doored inside her room, I was invisible.
Okay.
And also, when I dimension doored outside, you want to play it that like I didn't, or that's just not?
No, if you are invisible, then you are invisible. So you teleport out. She's there, but she doesn't see you. So it's face to face.
I stand really still then. really still.
So she opens the door of her cabin, slips inside, kind of looking, both sides to see that no one's there, and then she closes the door, and you can see among the clouds kind of part. The ship starts to descend, and you can see that you have arrived to the southern parts of Neverwinter. I'll open roll 20 just so you can see where you are. So what you do see is a fortified city surrounded by a river. There is a huge stone bridge. It's not a bridge, it's actually like a road, but it's over the river. It crosses the river. There are torches or lamps lighting the way and leading the way into the city itself. There are many towers there and many fortified structures, and you have this view of it. Let me just so you can zoom in. Whoops. So it's right over here. Bing. Oops. Okay. So it's south to Neverwinter and west to Neverwinter Woods. So as your ship descends, it's kind of flies over the wood. The clouds part. You can see a magnificent view of the sea, and then this fortified city just resting below you. And Zandala's first mate basically asks Forgar, where do you want to land?
So I don't have Roll20 open. And I was trying to make that happen, but I am not sure where I want to land here.
So the question is basically, do you want like the city dwellers to witness your descent, or do you want to land in some less conspicuous place?
Yeah, let's land somewhere less conspicuous.
Okay. So they basically drop just to the outskirts of Neverwinter Wood. And when you all gather to leave the ship, Zandala is basically she's there to wave you goodbye, and she says that she will be here waiting for you in case you want her services again.
Okay.
She hands you, Forgar, a sending stone, so you can basically call her when you need her.
Right on.
Okay. Anderest, I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you aside for a minute, and I'm going to tell you about what I saw in the captain's room. Right before going after I'll later do the same with Forgar, but just it seems that whoever arranged for this whole aid for us is Arza Elithid. It seems like this is some sort of an Elithid plan. I saw.
Oh, really?
I saw a ring up there with the Elithid mark. A mark I saw with the Elithid previously saw with the Elithid. I suspect that this. It seems weird.
So it wasn't a Zentarum mark, it was Illithid?
I pop up like a small illusion that shows you the exact mark that I saw.
Can I make a history check on that?
So you don't need a history check. You have seen this mark in the submarine, in the Illithid submarine, and on the files that led you into the Remorseless. Do you remember that there was a map of the ice longships, and there was a secret passage leading into them?
Right. So everything we've done, everywhere we've gone, the Illithids have been playing like all the sides. They were there with the Xanathar. They're there with the Fire Giant, weren't they?
Yes.
The Remorseless, the submarine, everywhere. I feel like they're playing all the sides, and you think that they're promoting this draconic empire to spread over the land?
Could be. I'm actually not sure that there's only one Zay. I'm not sure that the Elithid are. I don't know if they are working like under one person's control. Could be several factions there that everybody's trying to push a different agenda. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
But that's what this captain of this ship, that they've come to make sure that Forgar is successful and that the giants are not.
Yeah, exactly.
And that will bring about a global draconic empire, which doesn't sound great for the other races.
Yeah, I don't know why it would sound great for the Elithid though.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. Maybe they've convinced this captain and their ship that that's what they're fighting for, but they're not. I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like we're being manipulated, and we have been this entire time.
Could be. Well, anyway,
So,
just
we should tell the rest. That's for sure. Tell Forgar so he knows what he's getting into.
I'm gonna tell Forgar. Do you mind asking him for the sending stone? I want to talk to him without the sending stone being near us.
Sure. He doesn't like me, so you should probably talk to him. Last time we had any kind of heart-to-heart, it wasn't great.
All right, sure.
I'll tell the others, and you go tell Forgar.
Okay. Hey, Forgar.
Yeah. Sure.
Hey, listen, can I take a look at the sending stone that you just got? That the captain just
Sure.
gave? Thanks. I inspected a bit. Listen, do you mind if I ask Anders to run some tests on this stone? I'm not
I
sure
can.
about
Okay.
thanks. So I give it to Anders. I go back to Forgar, and I tell you what I just told Anders as well. I think that the people that are here to help you, they're being somehow controlled or paid for by the Illithid. It seems that they are playing us even through this aid. And, so I'm not saying let's not use that help at all. I'm just saying let's be very aware about where it's from and who's behind it.
Okay. They've definitely. We've seen them everywhere. So.
Yeah, I show you also the same image that I showed Anders before of the ring that I found in the room of the captain, in the captain's room.
Okay.
Do you
Do
think that Forgar could influence her enough that you could approach her about it and ask her about it?
I could try.
Like if you could get her alone somewhere where her crew won't be there to protect her in case she turns on you.
Nah.
Maybe have an invisible bard there.
and an invisible sorcerer.
Sure.
Or an invisible
The whole
monk.
party hiding behind.
Yeah, just twin invisible people.
Yeah, how many people can I make invisible?
2, 3, maybe.
No, I could do 3 if I cast it at 4th level.
More like an
4th
eternity or
level.
something. That's
Yeah.
like a cat or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be fine. I'd be willing to burn a 4th level spell slot to make sure that you're safe, but I don't know that we need it.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's focus on the issue with Artis Simber. I think that he's more important, more urgent at least right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Do we have any idea where he might be held?
So you can roll a history check and see what you can kind of come up with regards to Helmshold.
Anybody else wants to try? I rolled poorly.
So,
Sorry,
so
it's a
someone-
history check.
Yeah.
I'm my
I got a 9.
my mother is here, so I'm assuming I've got some sort of familiarity with this town. Maybe this is our summer house. I don't know. 15.
Okay. So with a 15, you basically recall that Helmshold is or was once a bastion of safety around Neverwinter. So the Sword Coast was never a very safe place outside of the cities. Helmshold was exactly that. It was a temple dedicated to the god Helm, which is seen like this great protector clad in silver armor, protecting the weak and banishing evil. But you have heard that things went the wrong way in Helmshold. Rumors of all kinds of zealots and fanatics. Rumors of all kinds of zealots and fanatics that have started to influence people in the city. So the city is very open and receptive, and so it's very easy to get in and kind of, to start steer things up. So that's something you've heard. In the middle of the city there is a cathedral dedicated to Helm, and under it there is a hospital for people who suffered greatly through the spell plague. It's an event that took this event took place something like 100 years ago. It was basically this wave of magical fire that swept the land. Some people got infected with it, and most of them died, but some of them developed all kinds of weird magical abilities that were uncontrolled and very dangerous. They were submitted to this hospital. Through the days and the years that have passed, this place evolved into this general hospital for the mentally ill or those who have developed wild magic capabilities. So the Helmites basically guard them and treat them. And you know that, Andres, that your mother was submitted there. I don't think you know the specifics. I think this was news that you have got, like not recently, but
sure. Probably before we left Waterdeep.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so who's holding Artis?
You actually don't know. What you've heard is that the Frost Giants brought him here, or maybe they're agents, to extract his secrets from him. It's probable that they took him to this asylum.
Great. All right.
Or I think this is something you actually know.
Well, didn't we extract him here?
No.
Under her control?
What do you mean?
The Drow, because we were the ones who kidnapped him, right?
I don't. Oh yeah. That's correct. So you kidnapped him, right? No, you're correct. You helped kidnap him, but I think I've told you that members of the Zentarium who work with the Frost Giants took him here.
Right. Okay. So we just delivered him. Are we in town at this point? Or are we outside?
You are at the outside. You are looking at it. You are just on the banks of the river. There is this huge bridge, stone bridge that is built. It's something like 400 feet long, very sturdy. Torchlights kind of cover both of its sides. There are two guards armed to the teeth, and they are wearing full plates. At the opening at the staircases that lead to the stone bridge, and right after that there are two huge stone doors that lead to the city. They are open as well, and there are two guards mounted there as well. So it's up to you.
Before we get into range of those guards and into the city.
Yep.
I would like to use my safe haven feature because I'm an agent of the Emerald Enclave to see if I can find a faction agent around and give them Xena, my old background companion, to under their protection.
Okay.
And maybe ask for information about Arctis.
Okay.
While you're considering that, I sent Semyon and Lorne here ages ago to watch over my mom. So I'm assuming we've either got an apartment here by this point, or they're staying at an inn, and I'm sure I know where that is. So I'd like to touch base with them as well. But I don't necessarily want to go alone.
I can come with you as your servant.
Yeah.
I've been doing all the servant jobs anyway. So.
Ouch.
Hey.
Okay.
Next time you can stable your own griffin. Next time we get a griffin. Yeah, I think of the griffins we had.
What happened to those griffins? Where did we leave them?
Didn't they die?
I think one survived and was taken away by the Zentarium, but I'm not sure.
And some of them died in the assault. I'm sure of it.
No,
Holy
I
shit.
think I think we sent them somewhere with one of your servants or something. When
Yeah,
we
they
took the
took some of them
submarine.
back.
We
Yeah,
sent
we
them
sent
to
them
a farm
somewhere.
upstate.
Turned into glue.
So as you step on the bridge and kind of get past the guards, one of them just looks at you. You can definitely see that he is human, quite tall, handsome, and he smiles at you. You can see his his visor is open, and he says, "May the gilded eye rest upon good deeds and fortune," as you pass along, and he nods to you.
I nod and smile. And you as well.
So it goes like this. As you walk on the bridge, Peleus, you feel like the further you go into the city, or the further you go on that bridge, that your connection to nature, like the basic, breathing of the air that surrounds you, the connection to every piece of wood, of air, of water, this is slowly sipping away from you as if the city is disconnected from nature. This is a very uncomfortable sensation for you. Galen, your companion, is strangely silent. You get the sense that he doesn't, I wouldn't say approve, but he isn't happy about going in. Rukvi, as you nod to the guard and step in, you feel cleansed, like relaxed for the first time in a long time. Like this wonderful power has lifted the weight off your shoulder, like the weight of the last couple of weeks with this specific party, and like the recent decisions that you have made. You feel blessed in a way.
Feel morally like just great.
And the rest of you don't feel anything interesting besides the strange fact that like everything is open. The guards don't check anyone. You can see people walking on the road, like merchants and people with carts, adventurers like you, sometimes even shady characters, like people who look at you and sneer or hide their face behind cloak and the hood. You would expect the gods to be pulling cloaks and looking into the stuff of people and their carts, but this isn't so.
Good. I will keep my cloak down and hide myself as much as possible. Andres is also quite nervous here.
I'll keep an eye out for signs of any agents of the Emerald Enclave.
Okay.
Any sort of like mark they leave behind to make sure they can communicate with each other or something.
So as you go past this huge gate, you are introduced into this large plaza, and you can see this great circle of carts, merchants with their booths. Like a ton of people are walking, buying, selling. Many kids run around smiling. One of them you can see steal, like in front of everyone, steals an apple from one of the carts, and instead of the merchant running after him and shouting, he kind of just, those kids, I'll get them next time. And then you can see he's simply putting a new apple. Then a new kid runs and tries to grab an apple. He takes his arm and says, no, not this one. And then he ruffles like his pile and gives him a bigger apple. Go play with your friends. So kids are everywhere, but in the middle of this plaza. Okay, that was strange.
Sorry.
It's suddenly a hurricane.
Yeah, there's a mighty hurricane. No, in the middle of the plaza, there is a hangsman scaffold, and you can see benches laid around it, and there's a body hanging there, moving with the wind. And suddenly,
Anyone we know?
what?
Anyone we know?
Nope. No, you don't hear that. And suddenly there is someone. You can hear him shout. Just to the left of you, as you go into this plaza, he shouts, "A bright day will dawn for this land in a time of darkness. Gather, gather, and hear the creed of the mighty god Helm." He's wearing purple robes, and he's standing on a small, vegetable box. And people gather, and he tells them that peace is soon on earth, and God will rain blessing on them, etc. And you can see more of these Helmites, like priest of Helm, that stand on carts or on fountains and speak to their people. And the city sprawls from this point on, but right behind the gallows, there is a long road, and in the middle of it there is a monumental cathedral. That's probably where the asylum is located. Enderist and Rukvi, you use the first couple of minutes to kind of glance around. Rukvi, you managed to kind of make eye contact with one of your faction, and he steers you toward an inn called the Old Dirty Dwarf. He says that the innkeeper, a woman named Hueta, is a good friend of the enclave, and if you would present yourself as belonging to the enclave, you'll probably get a smile from her.
Yeah, I do. As I come in, I give them a hearty hello, and I show them the symbol of the what is the name of the Earth Mother on my shield, and I say
So
tidings.
So you immediately walk to the, or are you talking to this specific? You want to walk to the? I didn't get the first sentence. Are you walking?
The Old Dirty Dwarf.
Yeah.
So they guide me to the.
He doesn't. He simply tells you where it is.
Okay.
Turn left, turn right after the cathedral, 2 blocks, and then.
I finish down taking the notes, and then I turn to somebody in the crowd. I thank the guy, and I turn to somebody in the crowd and ask, like, what do you do to the hangman?
What he like? I didn't understand the question. What did he do?
What did he do to get hanged?
He said he was at Scar Alley after the curfew hours.
Curfew?
Are you kidding me?
There's a curfew in Helm's Hold.
He says, like, this farmer that you have stopped. Sure, no one is allowed in Scar Alley after dark. That's very dangerous there, and the Gilded Eye is very specific about it.
All right, thanks.
Be right back.
Sure. Andres, you try to look around. Obviously, you find no one that you can identify, but you are told by people who pass by that there is a neighborhood, like a ward of Helm's Hall that is, how should I say it, a little bit more expensive than the rest. You believe that you can find your people there. There is a street of museums and temples that are dedicated to Helm right behind the cathedral. It calls Halls of the Guardian Street. And like if you have money and you want residence, this is probably the place to start looking.
Uh-oh.
I let the group know about Scarred Alley.
Breaking up.
Oh, you can't hear?
You can hear us?
Oh.
Doesn't seem like it.
He's gonna freeze at any moment. I think he's frozen now.
No, he's
No.
no.
Can you hear us? Oh, he's gone now.
Damn. Almost went an hour without any troubles. Almost.
Just didn't want to play with anymore. Like, this is not
Yeah.
interesting. I hate this town. Peace out.
Out of character, I wonder if he can speak with Dead. With that hanged man. He probably has some info.
It was just someone breaking the law. No, he was criminals. We have nothing in common with criminals.
Nothing's going on in Scarred Alley after dark. Also, in a sort of insane asylum of crazy mages, that might be pretty awesome for Illithid.
Yes. Do we know if the insane asylum is located in the alley?
No, the cathedral.
Yeah,
Or it's not really an insane asylum. It's more like magic insanity.
So unless Andorist kind of types something, what do you guys want to do?
I follow Andorist.
I think he's coming back now.
You can see him walk like 5 feet and then teleports back, and then 4 or 5 feet and teleports back. It's like lagging.
He has like 500 ping.
Then- The stop and running into a wall.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then we lost Avi.
Well, something we probably want RP. If I can get 300 gold and diamond, I can have Revivify for somebody. In fact, I should try it on Xena. I should just kill her and Revivify and see if it works.
I like this plan.
What a good friend you are.
Just smash her head and then just like boop. Okay, are you good now?
So Andorist, did you get
I am
my...
horrified.
Yeah, there's a ward behind the cathedral that's more expensive, and I'm guessing it has families of it's kind of like Ronald McDonald House is what I'm guessing. Families of people who are
think about the people who live like around the Vatican. So it's like the most expensive neighborhood in town. So that's it. You believe
It's
that
prestigious to be by the church.
Yeah, here at least.
I also tell you guys that I got another place where you can hang out that's, not as expensive, but maybe a bit more discreet. For us, adventurers, covered in dirt and grime and blood.
Sounds good.
Okay, so where do you want to head to? The more
dirty
expensive
dwarf
part or the dirty dwarf? Okay.
Unless anybody says otherwise or has a better idea.
No.
Okay.
Nope, I'm fine with it.
I'm still following Andorist, who just suddenly left the game. Like he's just disconnected from the show.
AFK.
You get teleported over to us.
damn it! I hate when the host leaves the game and I have to transfer host over to someone else, and everything breaks up, and it's so annoying.
So you head to the Old Dirty Dwarf. It's as you walk by, you get you have your directions, Wukvi. You can see that a lot of businesses, a lot of shops in the street are basically closed. You do see that there is an inflation of farmers or people selling food, basically. There are a lot of patrols made by those fully armored knights who walk about very stiffly in the streets. You again see this attitude toward kids who may be little rascals, but instead of slapped on the hand, they are kind of smiled upon. And you finally reach to the inn. It's you can see that in spite of its name, it's not very dirty. It isn't operated by a dwarf. This woman that operates it is probably in her 60s. There is a small staff of maids that help her cook and clean. And as you go in, you can see that most of the residents are probably adventurers or mercenaries or travelers like you. There are literally zero locals. Some of them are dark-skinned and wear the same kind of uniform, which is a leather armor which is tinted orange. They have helms that are similar to this Darth Vader kind of helm that goes like this, and they have short swords that with a tip that's kind of edged toward up. It's like a scimitar, but not exactly. They are huddled around 2 or 3 tables. Maybe 2 or 3 groups of people who are definitely mercenaries looking for work. As you come in, they kind of look at you and then dismiss you because you obviously aren't going to offer them any. And there are a few, a little bit, you can call it shady characters. They sit in corners, wrapped in cloaks, drinking ale or tea. And they simply watch through their hoods, but no one seems to bother them. And Hueta approaches you with a big smile on her face and says, "Yes, what can I offer you? You seem like you need a good rest, a good food, and maybe a tour guide."
Yes, in fact, all 3.
Just quickly before we get there, I would like to head off and go look around the market a bit and say I'll catch up later with the others.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, but go ahead and
Famous last words. Catch you later.
yes. Don't split the party. Okay, sure. See you later.
Brookby says yes, all 3, and also perhaps a 4th, and a 5th. And then I lean over.
Yeah, the smile doesn't leave her face, but you can see like a bead of sweat kind of starts to roll. The twitch in the eye. Of course, anything, young handsome man. What can I get you?
Well, some rooms for us, for my companions and I, and I also would like a room and a stay as long as she needs for Xena here at the under the protection of our friends, mutual friends.
So she looks at her and immediately asks, "Is she ill? We've got healers in the cathedral."
She is very ill.
And then she kind of lowers her voice and says, "Dangerous ill or just ill?"
Not a danger to anyone but her, I suspect.
You might
If-
want to admit her in the asylum, you know, they are very capable healers there. And yep.
Rugby says, I just got to this town. Everything seems a little off, don't you think?
She kind of nods and say, off? I can't see anything off. Anyone sees anything off? And people kind of look up. And you do see those hooded figures in the corners of the room. When she said admit her, they kind of lifted their heads as if interested. Some rooms, yes. Food, yes. Your girlfriend, I think you should visit the cathedral, but it's, you know, if she does something like, I don't know, float naked in the middle of the night, summon ghosts or something like that, the protector's law compels us to report her to the Helmites in the cathedral. Just so you know.
I look at Xena like, you're not gonna do that?
she says,
okay, well, send word to Tom, the Enclave agent that I know, that I would like her to be taken to you know, a compound, the nearest one outside the city, as soon as possible, under protection.
Okay, that's perfectly that makes sense.
And yes, that's what he tells her. And do you guys want to do anything else here?
Here? No.
Because if not, then Rugby then grabs a couple of drinks and sits in a table near the mercenaries.
Okay.
We can't hear you if you said anything, Brian.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now you can.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't want to do anything
And
here.
he broke up again.
Oh, I heard him. Yeah, I just want to sit next to them and maybe say hello and ask them. So this town, it's strange, isn't it?
One of the mercenaries looks at you and says, "Those who now see strangers will soon look strength."
Sorry, Rugby says, confused, and also me. I couldn't understand.
You're a priest, right?
Oh no, I'm no priest. I do serve Mother Nature, but no priest.
So two of the mercenaries get up to leave, and one of them looks at you and says, "Talk to us again in the morning. We'll see if you think anything is strange."
And then he also leaves.
Yeah, the two of them leave.
What?
Who's here with me?
I think Quirion, Forgar, Peleus, Andrest, and 5 more mercenaries who are deeply occupied with their mugs of ale. Like,
Anderist went off to find Simeon.
oh,
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go anywhere alone. So.
Well, you
Okay.
can be with me.
We'll
I went to look at the market, and then afterwards we can go find Simeon. I would just like
Sure.
to have a quick look around the market, talk with some of the merchants and people there. Like I'm interested in where they're getting their wares from. All this food I heard that Golden Fields was attacked. So where's the food coming from?
I'll go with you. I'm going to cast Disguise Self on myself. Make myself look like just like any other average, I don't know, yard worker or something like that.
Okay. Galen, you get a sense that indeed there are many refugees moving about the region, but Neverwinter, and specifically Lord Neverember, had spread his influence over Helmshold and is supplying it with food, but also with refugees. Strangely enough, you don't see anyone.
Well, I see a lot of like street urchins running around.
Yes.
And I heard something about a curfew. Is that a normal that is curfew here, or is that a new rule?
So you get a sense that there is a new police force in town. Those shiny armored knights call themselves the Order of the Gilded Eye, and they are policing the city in the last few years, basically. There is one area in the city in which they don't allow any funny things. It's called Scar Alley. It's a part of the old sewer system, not the old, actually the new sewer system. The city was expanded a couple of years back. Something happened. They aren't really, like, the people you talk to aren't really happy to discuss it, and the sewer system collapsed. The tunnels that these are exposed, right, that have formed have become like this shanty city of refugees and all kinds of criminal families, etc. It became really violent, so the knights said that there's a curfew. You are not allowed to move there after midnight. If they catch you, they hang you.
And is it only in that part that there is a curfew?
Most of the citizens says yes for now.
Could I do like an insight check to see how people are feeling about these Gilded Knights?
Go ahead.
Like if they're...
Yeah, go ahead and make one.
I rolled poorly. A 10.
A 10. So you feel that while they obviously uphold the law, their methods may be like too brutal for the common people to accept. So this is it, basically.
Yeah. What about theft? How is theft handled? Like stealing an apple?
They say that kids are basically allowed anything here. The Helmites see kids as a blessing, and it's probably due to their god's attitude toward kids. So this is why kids are basically allowed to do anything here. But if you are an adult, you'll be punished severely for stealing or casting spells, you know, blowing up with a fireball a booth of some farmer or something like that. So yeah.
And then I think back on the wizard we had with us a while back. I was like, oh, he's not here. Yeah, but I to go back, like, and then I on the way to find Simran, I'll just Andres, do you remember Rugby telling about having a vision, seeing something in the tunnel, something, or in the dark cave or something?
Yeah. Was it here, Helmshold, or was it a dwarven stronghold?
I'm not sure.
Stronghold where he had that vision. Does he still have that knife too?
I do have.
He's carrying this pure evil blade around with him.
When I touched it, I had that vision, and there were dwarven runes or something like that. I think there was dwarven something.
Yeah. Well, that
wasn't
sounds
here.
Bad. Oh,
yeah.
Well, good.
I think we're okay for now.
Really? When are we ever okay?
Good point.
Lead the way, my lord. And I say as a bow, mockingly.
Oh no! I'm disguised as a like a regular old farmer type guy now.
But still, mockingly lead the way, my lord.
All right, whatever. Yeah. Shake my head. Let's go. Maybe I should change my disguise to be a little bit more wealthy if we're going into this rich neighborhood.
Sure. So Andres, you walk into this neighborhood, and indeed, quickly enough, it's either you finding your people, your men, or they find you. But you are reunited with them and is invited into this large flat. which is above an empty store, so it's kind of private. They immediately fill you in that through the last couple of weeks they have been visiting your mother regularly, but suddenly she was admitted into the asylum itself. So there is a hospital there that anyone can go in, out, and visit patients, but there was this lord that arrived a couple of weeks ago. He seemed very arrogant and like nasty. He paid his way into the cathedral to meet the person who is responsible for managing the patients, etc. And after he left, they were unable to visit your mother. She was admitted into the asylum itself, which is basically this no one can go in and out. Patients are very dangerous. Stay out of it. So they are kind of lost in that sense. But until a couple of weeks ago, she was in good health.
Good enough, anyways.
Yes.
I have two questions for them. The first one is my father in town, as far as they know?
He never visited this place.
Okay, so he's not. Okay, so I visibly relax. The second question is this Lord Noble who came, do they think that the decision to move my mom into the asylum was like a personal one, that he picked her out and sent her there, or was it just like a general policy change and a bunch of people were moved?
You are not sure. They are not sure, but they say that there was but there was some commotion in the cathedral at that point where 4 men carried this raving madman into the asylum, and it happened at the same day. Like the Lord, the madman, and your mother's readmission all happened in the same day.
The timeline wise, does that seem like it could be Artis Simber?
His son, basically.
Right, his son. Yeah. What's his son's name? We keep using Artis. It's not Artis.
It's not Artis.
Okay. What's his name?
I'm not sure.
It's probably in the list of names because.
Does anybody have notes? Yeah.
A note? What's notes?
Yeah, it was a day 1 note. I don't have my book.
No,
I can probably find them.
It's
All right, son of Artis.
Artisan. Son.
Artis
Junior.
son.
His son is Kale.
Kale?
Kale.
Like- Like the plant?
Yep.
Okay.
okay.
All right. So we think it was Kale. Okay. Well, I thank them. Tell them they've done great. I'll fill them in on what I know about Fillery and that she probably won't be joining us anymore. And get Semyon to hire someone else to replace her. And yeah. Do we have enough space on our flat for the rest of the team to come and stay?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. I will then send Lorne to go find the rest of the team and bring them back.
Okay. So you are all gathered in the flat, just behind the cathedral.
And I will rest and relax and be thankful that I've got my people back. So much nicer now. I don't have to go walking everywhere.
I mentioned, first of all, out of character, Kale the Math. Is that the guy's name?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
That doesn't sound right, but
Yeah, because there's on the NPC roster, there's Kale the Math, male human.
But that's the Ulysses contact in Bayfield Bottle Tavern.
Yeah.
So doesn't sound right, no.
No, I have it, but I don't have, like, it's in the books.
It will.
Yeah, not important right now.
Yeah.
Out of character, then I mean in character, I tell you guys that what's your name? Anderist, that the corpse in the courtyard that's hanging from that rope.
You want me to do something about that? I could use another bodyguard.
I don't like to mess with the dead, but he might still. His spirit might know something that you might be able
What do you want me to do about it?
I
Can
do
you do you
break in
have
here and say, remember I just told told all of you about what I learned when I was in the market about how they handled the law here. And remember, they said something about public display of magics. I know he mentioned fireballs specifically, but they might be really strict on other things also.
So no magic around here.
Uh, maybe not, though. At least not too visible.
Sirac. Artist's son is Sirac.
Right. Correct.
Sirac.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
who's Kel?
and also that I would tell you guys that I ran into some mercenaries who were clearly not from around here. They probably just got here. Who told me that I probably would not want to. We probably would not want to be here. We wouldn't want to stay the night. Now,
Really?
they didn't say that explicitly, but they implied it. Something might happen during the night that might affect our minds.
Interesting.
Have you noticed how everybody's here is so happy?
Mm-hmm. I think we could use a dose of that.
I'm happy here.
Drugs?
Right.
Don't
so
do drugs, Andrist.
drugs are. How are Semyon and Lorne doing? Are they seem affected by something? Are they different?
So all of you kind of shut your ears. Is one of them a priest?
No. Semyon is a scholar and Lorne is a teamster.
They're doing fine.
Okay. So anyways, yeah. I think we'll be fine. I mean, look at Lorne. He's okay, and if he can resist it, we can resist it.
Yeah. What else could go wrong with me?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Like, I've already died, so it's fine.
I already lost my soul, so yeah.
And Rukfi, I have no way of communing with a spirit. I can reanimate a meat sack, but I have no control over, no ability to communicate with spirit.
I see. All right then. Perhaps. What would be the next step then?
Nothing. It's not our problem.
Did you tell us about your mother being in the?
Yeah, I think you guys probably would have at least heard that she's sick and she's here. But yeah, I will tell you guys absolutely that she's there. And she was moved there obviously the same time that I believe, or it could be, Sirac was moved in as well. But I mean, I'm also concerned that my father's got agents here and that they might try and ambush me and kill me. So, if you're with me, you should probably know that.
I'm to be honest, I'm getting quite paranoid adventuring with you guys because I couldn't ask a fellow agent of the Emerald Enclave about man, I forgot his name. What is his name?
Sirac?
About Sirac. I wasn't sure if it was a good idea to mention his name. It might set off a flag. But I could
Well,
go.
I think we need to go to the asylum.
Yeah, we do. If you're nervous about traveling with us, you can leave, right? We're not holding you here.
No, we're doing good in the world. I need to keep going.
And maybe, yeah, we need to visit the asylum, but maybe we shouldn't head there as one big group. Maybe we should try to sneakily infiltrate it. Like, Rookway, maybe you can go there to admit your girlfriend, or
No,
have someone else.
She's not coming. She won't stay here.
Then go there and admit, I don't know.
You?
You?
Me. I'm
Because
totally
you've got
normal
no
here.
soul. Yeah, right. At this point, you're the least normal of all of us.
Really?
Yeah, at
Your
least I
IV
have
drip
my
a soul into your body.
Yeah, and Andres, you can go there as to visit your mother and have your servant and bodyguard with you, and the other group go oh, we are worried about our friend here. so we don't like go in and say, "Hey, we're a group of adventurers and we're here to kick ass and
We would
solve
need
everything."
we need to
and
go in there
take
with
Yeah.
common
names,
clothes and
and
not
and we solve everything with our weapons
Ooh.
first. So
Shopping
know.
spree? Perfect.
I need to
I'm
get
gonna
some
send
diamonds.
Semyon to go get me. Well, I can help you with that. Semyon to go get us all costumes.
Okay.
mm,
I
So
definitely
Like,
place
prefer
your
cost-
order with Semyon, and he will get
Costumes
it
like
taken care of.
vampires and unicorns and
Yeah.
SpongeBob
Care
and,
Bears.
Care
I
Bears.
think we could go as a group costume and do the Care Bears. I'll be Grumpy Heart Bear.
But it's
I'm
almost
so in
it's
on
almost
that.
the end of October, so
We can prepare a dance too.
Yeah, no, like whatever you guys want, however you guys want to disguise yourself to get in.
I don't know if I
Something
can
to go do that.
disguise splint armor though, and I'm a
Well,
hammer.
you don't have to wear your armor. You know that, right? Like you don't sleep in it. You don't have to wear it all the time.
and you
Taking
can
off my
you
armor in D&D.
I know,
You
right?
dumb.
What?
Yeah, but then he'll be
Role
naked.
play?
He doesn't have his armor on. But no, you can have your armor on and just go there and be worried about your traveling companion friend who is sick. And and if you
Yeah.
want, I can. Yeah, I guess I don't know why you suggested me, Mavericks, but I guess I could be the clearly normal, not sick one. I'm not good at faking it, but if you really want me to, I could try.
Well, I think if they detected,
not
if they
now,
tried to
Sophie
detect
companion.
you,
Not now.
they'd
Go
figure
away.
it out. Yeah.
I'm totally normal.
You're the only one who wouldn't stand up to scrutiny about it. Like if they cast any spell, they're like, yeah, that guy has no soul and he's hearing things. He's clearly fucked. Me, they're like, that guy's an asshole, but you know, like, he's still all there.
Oh, but sorry. One question, going back a bit. Your guys, Anders, they told you that there was this arrogant person, like right, who came inside, who went into the cathedral as well, right?
Yeah, the Lord.
The Lord. Do we have a description of him?
Do we have a description of him? I guess we can get Lorne to describe him, or Semyon, whoever's here. I'm sure they could tell us.
Okay. Also, if we know that whether or not he's still in there.
You know that he came and went. He was accompanied by a woman. You have your descriptions, but you can't really make anything interesting out of them. Tall people, white hair for the Lord, brownish hair for the lady. They did mention a piece of jewelry she had on her finger or something like that, like a very ornate ring or something like that.
Okay. And
Like-
did they leave, both of them?
Like a
What?
ring of winter?
You maybe, but you when he mentions the ring, I think it is Brookview kind of rings a bell. When you have visited Lord Eltor Chul's party,
Mm-hmm.
you have met his wife, and his wife had
Oh no.
this very ornate ring on her finger, and you do remember that you left on bad terms with both of them.
That. Oh, I've got words for her. She does not like me. All right, now I know why my mom's in the asylum. I'm gonna have to have
What?
words with
Like,
Lady Elderchul.
We met Lord Edels. We met him at the party. I don't actually remember that. I remember
Yeah.
what's
He was
fiancé.
dressed as a vampire.
Yes, he was dressed
Again.
as...
I don't.
Well,
I
you were
don't
busy
remember
punching
that
a
one.
man to death.
Oh right, yeah, you were killing somebody.
Right.
Right.
But-
Murder.
No. Flashback. No. That didn't happen.
Vietnam flashback.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well-
I was murdering a clearly evil guy who had plans, vicious
And-
evil plans.
So this person is here, and her husband, did he have white hair?
Lord Elderchul? I think we would recognize his description.
I don't remember what he wanted from us. He was with the Blackstaff together at the time, and when we talked with him, and the
So
He
Blackstaff,
was
he
not happy.
he owned the warehouse, if you remember session 1 or 2.
yeah,
And then Galen found the painting above his in his attic, and then Anderist kind of blew everything out in front of the Blackstaff of Waterdeep.
Yeah, yeah. Lady Eldershall does not like me.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lord Eldershall's not a big fan either, but
but what did Lord Eldershaw want from us back then? I mean, he
To find Harshnag
find
and
Harshnag?
connect the Zentarum to the giants.
Okay, all right.
yeah, he's on our side.
Not sure anymore.
They just
Maybe-
didn't like
His
us.
wife isn't
Just
on our side.
destroying the party.
This is vengeance. I think. I think I made her look really bad.
Yes.
If we cross her, like she doesn't like us, and she still probably doesn't want the world to be taken over by ice giants or Illithid. So we probably don't want to cross her, because if we do, our character will probably have to fight her, or we might piss her off enough to.
Yeah, it's
Or her
already
guards.
been done. But I don't know if this might be completely unrelated to Serac now. I don't know. It might just be coincidence.
We need a lead on Serac.
Yeah, well, we got to go in there. So, I mean, I'm comfortable going in as myself. I'll just disguise myself as healthy me, not current me. And if anybody wants to come with me,
Yeah,
I can get in. Well, I don't know if I can get in that way, but I will try.
I'll buy any armor that I can hide underneath my clothes.
Well, chainmail
No,
shirt.
You could be the bodyguard,
Okay, I'll be your bodyguard. Yeah, sure.
and I don't know.
You in the foreguard?
Bodyguard bros.
Sort of. Yeah. At some point, are we gonna do this tonight?
I'm
Like
sorry.
we're
Prince.
heading there right now? Yes?
Yeah,
No.
why not? Why not do it now?
Cool. Yes, then I am totally in on being a bodyguard.
Maybe hide our,
Make him
our
look good.
symbols of our deities and stuff. Just
Yeah.
And then we have Talius and Quarian trying to admit me for, whatever reason. Totally
Mhm.
sane,
Alright.
totally normal.
Peleos could go in as a mouse in Corian's pocket if you wanted to really.
True.
Or your
yeah.
pocket, probably better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
Quarian,
would probably
you're
be
good
good
at lying, so you can be my friend who says that I'm sick and you should admit me, or at least have them check me out.
Question is,
we
how
can
do
get in.
we get you out afterwards?
I think we just need to get in, like you get in there with me, and then when we're inside, then we fake something and get away.
I'm
Beat up.
I'm definitely giving you potion of gaseous form. If you're gonna go in as a patient, then I'm giving you that potion just in case they're like, all right, great, patient, let's lock him up immediately.
Yeah, thank you. That's very thoughtful of you.
So I'll give you the potion if that's happening.
I'll put that down.
Okay, so 2 groups. Do you come together with the time delay, like 5 minutes, or what's the?
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any objections?
Who goes first?
Oh.
It's up to you guys. I'm
I
gonna bring Semyon and Lorne with me as well because they'll be recognizable.
Okay. That's good. So, Andres, you walk in to the cathedral. There are many priests there and a lot of people who are giving their, night prayers to Helm. We can assume it's like afternoon or something like that. There is this vast hall and a simple wooden desk. It's polished to brilliance. There are 2 shining armored knights on each of its side, and a man wearing white robes. He is bald. You see nothing of armor, weapon, whatever on his body. There's a massive book in front of him. and he is simply taking notes as you go in. And he then looks up and says, "Welcome. How can I help you?"
I'm here to visit my mother. She's been admitted into your asylum.
So when you say "I'm here to meet my mother," he kind of reaches out with a key, and then when he hears the asylum, he kind of lets it down, and he smiles and says, "I'm terribly sorry, sir, but you cannot visit patients who are admitted into the asylum."
That is the incorrect answer, sir. I will speak directly to your supervisor.
He gets up and
I put on my Karen hair.
He he gets up and says, "Immediately, sir." And he nods to one of the knights, who kind of turns like a robot and then steps out. And from a side room, a door opens and a dwarf comes out. He is very old, and you can see, like, huge eyebrows. You can almost not see his eyes. He walks bent, as if carrying a huge weight, and it takes him some time to go to you. Surprisingly, the knight doesn't help him. Like, the knight simply matches his steps, so it's like a very, very long walk. But eventually, the dwarf comes to you, and the acolyte kind of whispers something to him, and the dwarf looks at you and says, "What is your mother's name?"
Lady Shael.
They both flip the book, and then he notes the name and says, "You are under arrest. Please follow me, sir."
And I will go and just assume that my bodyguards and retainers are welcome as well.
He leads you to a small room. He sits. And it takes him hours to just sit down. You can actually hear his bones.
When creaking.
Okay,
When we're
creaking.
walking, can I put my arm out for him?
Sure. No one says anything. He looks up to you and smiles, and says, "Oh, no one has done that for me for years. They are afraid to catch something, as if I'm too holy for them. Huh, what nutheads!"
I'm not afraid of catching holiness.
Oh,
You sure?
But you
I'm
are.
immune.
You are very cold to the touch. Are you eating
Yeah,
properly?
I apologize. It's been a long journey, and no, I've not been eating or sleeping for worry of my mother.
I completely understand. He closes the door, sits down, and with shaking hands tries to pour you some drink. And then he says, "Yeah, I'm listening."
I'll just get Semyon to do that for him.
Okay. He nods and says, "My name is Brother Satarin. Unfortunately, I've been a while for so long. I've seen many people admitted to the asylum. You have to understand, we are under the law of the Protector. People who are admitted there are very dangerous to themselves or to their loved ones. They exhibit physical changes or wild magic surges that can lay waste to buildings. In your mother's case," he gets up and starts rumming through files that are like, it's a big library, many tomes and scrolls, and he pulls a file and he lays it on the desk. The desk is a little bit tilted, so if you want to see what's going on there, you kind of have to do this. He flips open some pages, and you can see the expression on his face change when he comes to a specific page, and then he slams the file open, closed, and says, "Your mother exhibited some deformities. We had to admit her
Fortunately, there was someone here who was able to pay the vast amounts of gold we needed to treat her specific illness.
Was that Lady Elder Chull of Waterdeep?
He looks at the lists, at the names list, and he says,
No, this was Lord and Lady Shattermast of Waterdeep.
Shattermast.
They came to visit her, but during the visit she manifested this deformity.
it seems like he doesn't want to really go into details, but you don't sense any, like he's doing it because he's evil. Maybe he's trying to protect you from something.
Right. Do I know Shattermast?
No. It's...
No? Okay, so it's a fake name.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sir, I understand you're probably trying to protect me because this is my mother, but what kind of deformities? You need to tell me everything because I believe that you've been deceived.
He opens the page and turns it around and to show it to you, and you can see a drawing of her body, and it seems like she developed as if her skin is covered in scales and protruding small tentacles from all kinds of places in her body. And he says,
We had to admit her.
Mm-hmm.
She was
so I need
she
to
was
see her.
talking about something.
and when he says something, he looks at you to kind of gauge your response, and suddenly you are very aware that this dwarf is very intelligent, like he's bright, and he's looking at you and he says,
She was mumbling something about the nine-eyed destroyer.
and he kind of looks at you to see.
Have I ever heard that name before?
Well, your skin crawls. This is like one of the patrons that you have been made aware of when you made your pact.
Okay, so it's like an elder being. So I'm familiar with it, but I have no idea why she would be raving about it. So again, I need to visit her. We will be taking over her. My family will be taking over payment for her treatment going forward, and perhaps a sizable donation to the temple would allow me to have a tour of the facility.
Okay, the camera pans to Galen and his friends. So, what's going on with you? How do you walk into the cathedral?
Well, as Brian suggested, I think Kalia should be in like a small mouse in my pocket.
Yep, that's
Don't worry, I'll gently pat it. I'll try not to crush you.
You try, okay.
And
That's
then,
nice.
what happens?
And then, walking along with Quarian, and Quarian is probably guiding me there. Like, come on, pushing me along.
Come
Like,
on, little brother. It's okay. It's okay. Come on.
brother, aren't you a half elf?
You know,
Half brother.
brother by name.
So that same cleric, acolyte, kind of lifts his head and he gets up as he sees that like you kind of support Galen. How can I help you?
Hello, sir. My name is Quarian Mormoril. I'm here with my friend of mine, and I think he might be able to use some help of your establishment over here. Recently, it seems to us like he's been developing a different personality, and I'm a bit concerned for his goodwill.
There's nothing wrong with me. Different personalities. No, I don't have different personalities, right?
It's okay. Come on, Galen. It's okay. Calm down. Calm down.
So the acolyte looks you up and he motions, and from a door, two sanitarians come in, and one of them motions to you, Quarian, and the clerk, identifying himself as Brother Marcus, is talking to Forgar or Peleus, starting to write down like details, name, who are you, where you came from, like, you know, specific admission form. And the sanitarian says to you, Quarian, that it's best if you would accompany the patient to the asylum. This is where he will get diagnosed, treated, and kind of put in a safe place until we understand exactly what he has. The problem is, he says, that the entrance to the asylum is warded, so there is a ward that prevents spells from being cast inside, and they obviously don't allow any equipment there. If you want, they can produce clothes for you, and he kind of points at his own clothes, like white robes, so you can all wear those and help your friend into the asylum. It's not where people are admitted, it's like the emergency room of the asylum, but Sanitarian believes that it will be much easier if you will accompany Galen and not have them do it. He looks at you kind of sad and says, it sometimes get ugly if we do it ourselves.
Ugly? I keep saying there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm just wearing like a normal set of clothes and don't have any equipment with me. Other than a potion of gaseous form, like hidden in a pocket, and a mouse in the other pocket. That's all I'm wearing.
So he looks at you, waiting for your approval. Like, if that's what you want, they can help you with that.
Look at Galen. Try to gauge from your eyes, are you, to make sure that you're okay with continuing with this.
I'll give you like a slight nod when you look at me and say no, and there's no need to do that. This no, wink, wink. I'm really good at deception.
So is that a no or a yes?
Very good at deception.
I look at the sanitarian and I say, I understand. That would be okay. I will gladly escort him. So
he leads you all to this small room. He produces boxes that you can put all your equipment in, and there are locks and keys that he hands that he will leave at the clerk's desk. So you all outfit yourselves with robes. The sanitarian, as he kind of looks at you to see if it's okay that he will come near you, so it really depends on how you react when he tries to kind of come and help you with your outfit. Not you, like I'm talking about Galen, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I don't need help. I can do this myself.
Okay, he kind of steps back. So I assume you, Quarian, kind of make sure that his new outfit includes the potion and the mouse. So roll sleight of hand just to make sure that.
Sure.
And in the meantime, Rukvi, you feel immensely blessed in this cathedral. You change your clothes, etc., but you feel like finally this weight of dirt that kind of rested on your soul is slowly dissipating. You are in a place of people who understand you and accept you, and this fierce emotion affects Peleus as well, but on the other side. Like Peleus, you are in the middle of a place that is the opposite of nature. So, and it's focused right here in this place. So you two feel those, and Galen, your spirit companion, kind of, whoa, dude, this isn't going like, no, let's not do that. It's I don't feel comfortable at all. This robe, I feel exposed. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't know. I don't want to go there.
That's good. I want to go there now, even more.
Okay, so you are.
Can I
Yeah.
Rookby I mean, feeling this kind of beginning to overwhelm feeling. I think Rookby would like to speak with animals on. Maybe there's some sort of animal in here, like anything, like a fly or something, a rat, a bird that flew in, just to see what happens, just to say hello, if they respond or.
To birds. So that there are no animals whatsoever here, not even an insect.
Not even an insect. Not like. Do I feel disconnected from anything at all? It just feels completely fine, except all positive.
So you basically feel like okay. You don't feel anything wrong with you, or it's just like this heavy weight was lifted from you.
I don't know what Rugby's thinking right now. All right, he doesn't do anything about it.
So Galen, as you kind of get dressed and you have those sanitarians walk around you, your spirit starts to sing. In the boozer, you're a loser. If the dice you're shaking, you'll get hurt. You'll lose your shirt. Sit there cold and quaking. Lady luck, your gifts are bad. You trick us, then you make us mad. Make us gamble, make us fight, and sit out in the cold all night. And he repeats this rhyme kind of over and over.
I try to get it to shut up. And I do say it like out loud. Shut up!
Shut up!
Stop that singing!
And the sanitarian kind of looks at Quarian and says, "It's fine."
Quarian looks at Galen and says, "You're good."
What? What do you mean? Good.
By the way, as a sleight of hand check, I got a 14.
Okay, good. You have a mouse and a potion in in your underwear. Enderist, the old dwarf, looks at you and says, "I will be willing to make an exception in your case, Enderist, but you'll have to follow the rules of the place. You'll have to come in like all the personnel who go there alone. You have to remove all your clothes and equipment. We'll provide you with a cloak. You'll have to go in with 2 of our sanitarians. And I have to say, to warn you, there is a ward against magic in the asylum itself. It's one of the few things that prevents those patients from manifesting their powers. That doesn't mean that there aren't any other dangers there. You'll be protected as much as possible, but I cannot guarantee your safety. That's on you." I can't hear you. You're muted.
Very well. I'm willing to accept that risk, and I'll drop the illusion on myself so he sees me and myself, and I'll just say, "I assure you I am not sick. Sickly, yes, but not sick. So please don't try and lock me up here.
He puts a hand on your hand, even though it's cold, and he says,
I understand how you feel. My son died in the asylum. I vowed to make sure that all my patients are well taken care of and healed as much as possible. We had a few successes, but also a few painful failures. I hope your mother will get better soon.
and he walks you out to the same room in which Galen is being admitted. So you are fitted with a white robe. And the two sanitarians that are there, they are... yeah,
Before we do that, can I try and do something?
sure.
I'm gonna leave my cane in his office,
Sure.
and then once we get out, I'm going to realize that I've forgotten my cane, obviously, and I'm just going to ask Semyon to go get it. And when he's going to get it, I'm going to telepathically to communicate with him to try and find the Simber file in that room.
Good one, very good one. Okay. Okay. So as he gets back, he does this, like, to you.
Nice. I'll get him to hold on to my cane as well.
Okay. You are all kind of being pampered by the sanitarians, and they treat Galen like they give him some space, but to all of you, they basically run through this list of things that you should and shouldn't do. Obviously, they are very uncomfortable with you going with them into the asylum, but as the conversation goes, you do feel that they are more concerned about your well-being than anything else. They explain to you, so it's specifically like this guy will accompany you there. His name is Brother Samil. He says that visiting the asylum isn't something that the weak of mind and soul can tolerate for a long period of time. People who are admitted there are changed. They might manifest behaviors that are kind of difficult to watch. He will assure you that if you see people who are chained, it's for their own protection. And if people talk to them, even if they say things that seem really connected with who you are, what you do, and or even your history, you should do your best to ignore them. Some of them have learned what triggers visitors. So do your best to focus on what you're here to do. So Galen's group is all about kind of doing the first checkup, and for you, and the rest is going to see your mother. If you do need help, feel free to go to any of the sanitarians. They are identified by the white robe, and they have this black belt that kind of ties the robe together. You are given white belts. The patients usually wear blue. So as you do that, and the rest, yeah, I'm listening.
Sorry, just as we walk inside, I want to check with you if that's possible. I have this ability to do a counter charm, which is really basically I do a performance like sing a song, and it helps people around me with saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Okay, good.
Is it okay to do this in a place without magic?
So anti-magic is anti-magic. It's anything that is basically magical, a magic attack, a magic spell, spell-like ability, etc. is basically dead in those areas. But
that includes divine.
Sorry.
That includes divine.
Yeah, if it's magic, it doesn't matter if it's divine or arcane, it's dead.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Or a potion or a spell. So potion of gaseous form probably won't work, but we'll see.
yeah,
Or a mouse in your pocket.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna
that's
be weird.
I don't think shape change is actually magic. I don't think. I don't know.
Doesn't happen regularly IRL.
Yeah. Let's hope the mouse hidden in my underwear stays quiet and not move around too much and doesn't suddenly change into this normal form.
This
Yeah.
could explain the multiple personality, though.
So this is basically what they explain to you, and then they basically take you all as one group with the two sanitarians into a spiraling staircase that goes down and down and down and down. There are torches that are mounted with red crystals that illuminate the place in like continual light, but at some floor the crystals turn to regular fire, and you all feel this wave of deadness, like a void around you. And since you all are touched with some form of magic, one of the other, you are aware that this is basically the ward that you have been told about. And as you go down, Galen, your spirit kind of sings, "Oh, the naked loser moans when he's cold and left alone, shakes and shivers as he groans. I wish I could be asleep under a tree with a hot sunshine warming my bones." And then darkness. You don't see anything. You don't feel anything. And then you wake up. You are sitting in a white room in a circle with on chairs. Like the chairs are wooden. You are wearing blue robes, all of you. You look at each other and you are immediately taken aback. You have changed, all of you. Quarian gained some weight. Forgar, one of your eyes is white. You, Rukvi, your hair turned white. Galen, you have grown this monumental beard. Peleus, your hair is wild and long and your fingernails are black. And Andarist, everyone are shocked to see blood red eyes kind of peeking everywhere. And you hear someone's laughing. It worked. It worked. It worked. And you turn to the source of this laughter, and Andarist, you see your mother. She is sitting on one of those chairs, looking at you, weeping, smiling, laughing. It worked. It finally worked.
Can I go to her?
You try to get up and you find that your bones are jelly. Your muscles don't listen to you, but you manage to kind of get up. And you do what?
Mother, what's happening? What worked? Where are we? Does she look healthy, by the way?
Surprisingly, yes. She looks like pale skin, yes, but and bright eyes, but there is a flicker of madness there. And you ask her, "Is everything okay? Where are we?" She is about to answer, and then you hear this inhuman scream that comes out from another room, and you recognize that you are in a room. It's padded, and there's a door that is padded as well. There's a window there. Someone on the other side is screaming his lungs out.
And she kind of she's hunched and she closes her ears. She doesn't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. So my natural inclination would be to use prestidigitation to mute the noise a little bit. Does it work?
You kind of lift and focus your mind, and then nothing works. But you do see this as you try to cast the spell. There is a ripple effect, as if there is a blanket on everything around you, and then your mother looks at you and says, "Don't do that."
Why? Where are we? What's going on? I'm gonna try and walk towards her as
So
much as I can.
You are walking toward her, like zombie-like. Anything you guys want to do at this point?
I would like to get up if I can and go over to the door.
Okay.
I'd like to inspect the room. Is there anything that we can see, perceive? The chairs.
So the chairs are made of dark wood, polished. You do see that there are no sharp edges to them. There is a big mirror that is on one of the walls. There is a door that leads to another room to which Galen is headed. And the chairs you are sat on, and all the rest of the room is basically padded. There is one window, and like bright light is pouring into the room from it. Galen, as you go to the other room, you can see Sirac, and you identify him because you have basically helped kidnap him. And you can see two shadowy figures. So he's basically laid on a metal bed with his skull wide open, and there are two shadowy beings with their long fingers like inside of his brain, and they are moving their fingers inside, and he's screaming.
Oh, it's another Sunday then. Okay. I would like to quickly say in my head are you still there? Did you get tired of singing? To see if my soulless companion responded in a way.
So he only repeats one word. Hexavog, 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 Hexavog.
Hexavog. Okay, useless. Well, I would like to look at the door and just try to see if is there a handle on this side of the door?
Yes, there is.
I'll try to open it then.
When you do, Under's mother turns to you and screams at you, "Do not open it!"
I'll open the door.
Okay. Quarian,
I'll work my way towards the door.
Okay, so Forgar and Galen are on their way to the door. Quarian, Peleus, Rukvi, what do you want to do?
I want to get up and lift the chair. Am I able to do that?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna try to throw it at the mirror to break the mirror.
Do you know how much bad luck that is?
There's no it's only uphill from here.
Okay, so the chair's flying towards the mirror. Galen's hand is on the door. Enderest is reaching to his mother.
I'm charging towards the long hair things because I just want to tackle them for some reason.
Okay, Peleus, what do you do?
I will. I'm not sure actually. Can I hold my action?
Sure.
You can sit calmly in the chair, just look around and say,
What's
this
going
again?
on here?
It's all fine. Everything's on fire.
Okay, so the chair hits the mirror, which snaps. The door is opened, and the shadowy figures look at Forgar and at Rukvi, who are charging into the room.
Forgar and Galen.
Forgar and Galen, sorry, and Rookvi, you are right behind them, charging into the room. Peleus, you are kind of looking at it, trying to make sense of what's going on, and you can see Anderist walking to his mother, and then suddenly falls and grabs reality. So think of reality as a veil or a blanket around your vision. He grabs it and rips it, and the white room and everything in it changes. You all find yourself in a bare black rock chamber above this pool of ichor. Your mother, Anderist, as reality is pulled from in front of you, changes into this woman with the torso and legs of an octopus. She wails and she flies, like in terms of running away, jumping into this pool of ichor, and she screams, "Not like this! Not like this!" The mirror is gone, and behind it you can see a corridor with cages hung from the ceiling. Inside of the cages there are people. They are writhing and screaming in pain as blue flame engulfs them and dances on their bodies. And the room that you have seen with Sirach kind of zoom out, like in this camera effect, when you can see something both going in and out at the same time. It is flung away from you, but you know that the room is in this place, whatever this place is, and you hear Anderist's mother screams, "Find the Hex Locus! Find the Hex Locus and free us!"
Hex Locus?
Yes. And this is where we stop for tonight.
That's gonna be
So
it's gonna be a weird recap
that-
next session.
Yeah. Hex Locus?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
HEXLOCUS.
Was it the same thing my
Oh, a hex
soulless-
locus. Okay.
Was it the same thing that my soulless companion was mentioning?
Remind me what he was mentioning. Oh no, it wasn't the same name. He was
okay.
he was saying hexa something. Wait, hexavog.
Yeah. Hexavog, okay.
Yeah.
So we're basically in hell. That's what it sounds like.
What else is new?
All right.
Oh.
Interesting. All right.
Man, these notes don't make any sense. I'm gonna look at them next
At
week.
all. Oh my god.
Hexalog, Galen's friend. What?
Yes, so next session you'll try to figure out where the hell are you, how do you get out of this place, what is this place, and with some luck you'll get out with some answers. Maybe. If you'll be good.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
I hope we get some kind of answer.
No, we'll just keep spiraling downward in a more maddening circle of, just madness and sanity.
All of a sudden we're losing sanity points, rolling d10s to be under.
I love how as soon as we spawned in that room, or that we appeared in that room, everybody exploded into action. Like immediately charge, immediately throw a chair, immediately grab my mom, immediately open the door.
Do something.
Except the druid,
I was
who just put his
peacefully
feet up.
slender.
He's a backup plan.
Someone's got to stay sane, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys. So in 2 weeks' time, we'll find out what the hell's going on. Like, what happened?
Great
Alright.
session.
Thanks for the craziness.
Yes.
It's really good.
Sleep tight. Have wonderful dreams.
Oh man.
Dreams.
Hopefully, I wake up in my bed tomorrow and not like right room.
I like how my mom's turned into Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
That's nice. That's a nice touch. Yes. Guys, have a great weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta
Thanks.
take it.
See you.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.